Thank you so much. All right, I haven't done anything yet. I should just sit back down. All right. Hi. Ah, so many good friends. Okay, I can do this. This is called Terry. Terry. I've had 17 jobs since I was 16. At 25, this works out to 1.9 jobs per year. Not because I'm prone to getting fired. In fact, at one point, I held 5 jobs at once. I served popcorn at the Old Angelica. I severely injured myself making vegetarian sandwiches. I installed lighting equipment for theater events. I worked at the Houston Public Library. I listened to every late or lost book excuse. The best one was the one that was lost on a Disneyland ride. Who reads on Space Mountain? And assisted in the marketing department in the Texas Renaissance Festival, otherwise known as being the straight man in the loony bin. I didn't know that was a gay magnet, but apparently. Straight man joke. Okay. Each job was like a romance to me. When the honeymoon... Did you just get it? Is that what happened? Solid. All right. So each job was like a romance to me. When the honeymoon period wore off, I found a new love, or I added an affair on the side. For the last 9 years, I've used work as a replacement for attachment and intimacy with people. Although I appreciate the few fantastic friends who cut through my neuroses. Currently, I'm a high school theater teacher. Teaching is even a job I've abandoned. Although my first year was an abusive relationship from the very first in-service day. I was too young for the students to take me seriously, and I shouldn't have taught a subject that I'd only taken 9 hours of college. Still, for a work junkie, there was still something attractive about there always being something to do, and more importantly, how I could actually find it satisfying to occasionally, on my good days, get through to a student. It was a new concept to me, using real talk to communicate truthfully and bring about change. I begged to take the teaching job back this past year because a position opened up that I could not stop dreaming about. I fucking love teaching theater. Kids are required to act up in class. Oh, kids are required to act up in class. That's act up in class. I nailed it. Yeah. At the charter school where I worked, theater is where the kids who itch to get out of their desk have the freedom to create. I'm not so much a teacher as I am a coach. They even moved my room into the gym. Theater is such a sensitive subject that it requires presence and immediate appreciation of the humans around you. Finding joy with the students has healed my wounds from the first time around in the classroom. One of the zestiest students in my class was Terry. He was a senior in my 6th period. And he would start warm-ups if I was late or absent. Terry always had a smile on his face and would be in a scene with anyone, even the most shy. He mostly acted out his favorite cartoons, preferring the entire cast of Regular Show, punctuating each awkward pause with a or silly stare. On one of his worst days, when he found out he would be suspended for a badly conducted interaction with another teacher, he played this joke on me, where you pulled his finger and smoke came out of his mouth. I don't know how he did it. Terry was magic. Exactly 5 weeks ago, I received a partially downloaded email on my phone from our superintendent that began, "Mavericks, this is by far the hardest email that I've ever had to type." But that's all I could get to download on my phone for about 30 minutes. I've never been so frustrated with technology, but I've also never believed so deeply that my phone was trying to shelter me from some of the worst news ever received. We send our seniors out into the community to complete service projects. Terry and some of his friends were clearing trails in a state park outside of Beaumont. After their work on that Tuesday, they decided to go swimming in the river, and despite the help of their friends, Terry's life ended in a drowning accident. I don't think I've ever yelled that loud in distress. I don't think I've ever cried this much. I still don't know how to deal with the agony of losing a young one. Pain showed up on my doorstep that night, and after a month, I've only allowed it to crash on my couch, bags half unpacked. And if you know teenagers, you know that being silent is not their strength. Delivering the news that next day created such a hush and despair on campus that no one spoke as they walked to their first period. I barely made it through the day, but as classes wore on, my students showed a surprising amount of strength. Perhaps sensing that sorrow made it hard to make simple decisions about what to do until dismissal. The most comfort I have received came out of the memorial the seniors organized on campus. Through each student or teacher's speech about how Terry connected to them, I realized that I could begin to repair my heart broken by grief through reaching out instead of burying myself further into work. It's not easy, but at least now I understand where I belong. My heart is not in the job of teaching. It's in the people, it's in the students and coworkers. And so it's where I'll stay. And to be honest, though this doesn't mean I'm going to work less, I've neglected to mention that I still hold 2 jobs. One of them working with badass coworkers at 2 of the coolest bars in Houston. Woo. But I'm going to find more fun and more love, and like Terry, high five as much as possible.